Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30. It is Tuesday, September 30th. Time to wrap it up for today. This last trading day of September and the quarter. And I have to say, finally get a little bit of action to the upside. So they broke up 67.15s. They've been holding in this range pretty much all day. Just going sloppily back and forth. They've been fighting, working this, working this range. Basically, fading the edges has been the ticket until 2 o'clock. So exactly at 2 o'clock, right from the mean, a nice move to the upside. And so far they're taking out resistance and they keep going. So we're going to be staying on the long side right now for now at least, going into the overnight Sunday and Sunday Monday, going into the overnight tomorrow. So I'm thinking the weekend, going into tomorrow, October 1st. And I had to say, if they can hold support at 67.15, we are staying on the long side. But we just had to keep your mind open about the beginning of October. If they usually get some action there. Could be some selling going on right from the get-go, October 1st and 2nd, given the strength we have going into the close of the day. Or it could just keep going. So it's just starting off a new quarter like that, you just never know quite what you're going to get. But the way it looks right now, we're going to stay on the long side and see how things shake out. Now, in the bigger picture, as I said, I mean, we are range bound. We are up here against this upper edge. If they can keep holding above that 67.30s going into the overnight, we're up here in this upper range, potentially setting up for a nice move higher. I would probably be leaning towards failure to take this out. That's our bread and butter trade for a move lower. So 67.30 right now is an opportunity for a short setup. I would not be super aggressive on it today, though, really late in the session. That's because it's you never know what's going to happen this last half hour in terms of working the angle for end of the quarter performance. So they could be a nice pop to the upside. It could also reverse hard. If you want to take that short, just make sure you keep your stop pretty tight on it, so you don't. If they start taking this higher, you're flat out of it. But usually late in the session like this, on an end of the quarter, kind of end of the month kind of dynamic, I'm not. I'm just staying out of it. But it is a nice setup at resistance, so we'll see how it shakes out. If you're gonna trade, take it as I said, just keep your stop tight, so you don't get caught in a shitty trade. But I would expect, or I would be looking for a potential failure trade there, for rotation down. As long as they hold above the 15th, we're going to stay on the long side of this going into the overnight. If they trade below the 15th going into the close, which is pretty easily done, we may go back range bound. If they for some reason take out the 66.95, we're going to be on the short side of this. So pretty straightforward analysis going into tomorrow, and then it's going to be very interesting to see how the fourth quarter is going to begin. If it's going to begin with a little pop, or if they're going to start to begin with a bit of selling, you just never know. So that's the ES right now. No trades on the ES on my part. I did take a couple of trades on the Nasdaq, and then one trade on gold. Haven't traded since though, since those two trades. First, we're touching on bonds. Bond market just is sideways here. Haven't really moved one way or the other. They were up here testing. They took out the 17s for a bit, then retraced. They're down here testing support at the 16 now. And not quite to that support area, but so far that's holding it well. So I would just start off range bound on the bonds going into the overnight tomorrow. Uh, Nasdaq also pretty good. Move to the upside. Uh, Going into the close here, they're taking out resistance at 850, 860 now. Let's see how far they can take it on the upside here. That's going to be interesting. But if they hold above that 860, we're going to stay on the long side. If they trade back down, we're going to stay range bound. If they stop for some reason take out this ledge here at the 730s, we'll be back on the short side going into the overnight. So pretty straightforward. The trades I took today on the Nasdaq, two trades. They were down. They were two. One was in this range, when it was sloppy like this, back and forth. I guess yes, in this upper range. When it started taking it high, I got short, faded a little bit of heat, had a nice rotation down to the mean, got out of it. I could have probably held out for a little bit longer, but I was watching this thing and it's a little bit impatient on it. Then I took another one at the higher end of this range, at the upper level, at 850s. Also great setup, but I had to fade too much heat on that one, so that's why I scratched it. And it turned out that they weren't going to go higher, but it's easy enough for them to run it a little bit higher here. This is your kind of if it doesn't work pretty quick, you don't want to be part of it. You can always re-engage it if you try to take it higher with better trade location if you're still thinking short. But it doesn't prevent you from getting re-engaging it. It's just if it doesn't look great, just get out of it and then potentially re-engage it again. So at this point now they are up here flirting with the highs. For a while I was looking at this potential short setup. If you took a short there, you at least had a break-even trade here before they ran it higher. So I did not trade it late in the session like that, just kind of watching it. So I have two trades, $21 so far. And finally, oil and gold. Gold is holding on to the gains, heading higher. I did take a one gold trade early on today. And that was this trade here after I kind of missed this pop to the upside. I missed a little pop. It is run up here. So when it looked like they were going for that second leg, I kind of got, or maybe the third leg, I tried a long trade. And of course, I got caught in that thing and I repaired it and I managed to get lucky. So I had to make my target, my stop almost twice the size to be on the safe side of this. And you can see how volatile that got. So I got out when I had a shot at $13, but that's just a scratch. So two contracts, one trade on that one up 13 and haven't re-engaged it since. It's just too volatile. So unless you get into it and it goes right away and you're on the right side of the trade, it's just very, very uncomfortable seeing and swinging it like 40, 50 ticks back and forth like this. So traded from the long side though, they are to the upside. They did not the morning weakness we were looking for did not materialize at all. So I'm looking at this thing. In the morning, I was looking at getting short against that 48 and the 55s for rotations down. And you can see they took out both of them and they didn't look back. So not much opportunity there. We were looking for the potential retest of that low, but no, that was happening the overnight and then they just retraced it. So after they took out that 50, 55 level, then we're back on the long side again. And if you manage to do that a little bit more aggressively than I looked at it, you could have managed that C print run up. That was a great run to the upside. But anyway, so one trade, $13 on gold. And oil just flat out range bound, that's going sideways. A little bit below the value area. So I would, if anything, start with a bias to the downside to see if they can retest these lows. But technically, we are still trading smack in the middle of a range, and I would be looking to buy in support areas for rotations back to that value 63.50 to 64. All right. So that's oil, gold, back to the ES. And that's kind of where we left it. Still holding up here. It's holding the 67.30. So let's see what happens now, especially that last 10 minutes. It's going to be interesting to watch. But so two trades. Okay, so a couple of trades on the Nasdaq up 21, and one trade on gold up 13. That's it. That's all I did today. All right, guys, leave it there. Now I'll see you back bright and early tomorrow and see how that goes. All right, guys, later.